I have some extra postcards, so I'm giving them to the restaurants that were advertising on my postcard. Welcome to the Local Hustle. I'm Jose Morales, and this is where I document the real behind the scenes journey of building a local marketing and print business. Every episode, I'll be sharing what I worked on today, what's working, what's not, and the lessons I'm learning along the way, from selling postcard advertising to print projects like banners, yard signs, door hangers, and more. This is the real journey of building something from the ground up. So let's get into today's episode. Okay, so I dropped those I dropped those postcards off, and then I was talking to the owner. And another thing that he wants to do is, so he has these 4 windows, and he's been in business for a very long time. But in this particular location, it just has the name of the restaurant, so you really don't know like what the restaurant is. And that's one of the things that he wants to change. And he wants to get a what's called a bullet sign that goes underneath it, but the sign company that he's dealing with is telling him that there's just not enough space because there's an awning. But both him and I feel like there is space to add a bullet sign. It doesn't need to be a really big one, but anyhow. So one of the things that he wants to do is he wants to get his windows with that perforated tint, if you will, and to have the design and everything. So we were talking about that. We measured out the windows because that's something that he's uh, thinking about having me do. Now I wouldn't install it. I would just get it designed and printed for him, and he's good with that. So he's going to be thinking about that and just trying to think, okay, exactly, how does he want these I'm gonna call them panels, how these panels to look like. So that'd be another project. Hopefully, it'll come through. I know it's not gonna be something that happens overnight or anything like that. So I know it's gonna take probably a couple follow ups to hopefully get that project. But anyhow, the other thing that I was doing was I was looking at the conversations of the people that have shown interest in the postcard, and I was just like, okay, let me go back to like December, January, and hit some of these people up because I'm going to a different town, so you never know. And there was another printing project that I was working on. It just I wasn't able to get it launched, and there was a guy that he was interested in that, and he was all for it. But like I said, I just wasn't able to get this thing off the ground. But I was just like, well, let me message him, even though it was in uh, a completely different thing. And I messaged him because he has the seamless gutters, and I said, hey, I'm putting together another postcard that spotlights local businesses, and it's going to this city. I'm doing this many at this price. I take care of the printing, the postage, etc. Would this be something that you would want to? I don't remember if I said, would this be something that you want to lock in, or maybe I said, would this be something that you would want to be a part of and lock out your competitors? Something like that. Obviously you can play around with it and test both versions there. And then he said, hey, do you take Venmo? And I said, yeah, I can take Venmo. And then he's like, let's do it. So I was like, cool. So we went back and forth, and he's like, well, I'm in a doctor's office right now. He's like, so I'll get back to you. But then he responded with, hey, what size would I be getting? So then I'm just like, oh man, is he starting to backtrack? And so I said, hey, this is the size for this price. I was like, you can do a double size for this price. And I had also told them, I don't know what point in the conversation I told them, hey, most businesses go with the 199 size. And I always tell people that just so that it's just like, oh, okay, right, to try to help get that sell versus, obviously if they got a double spot or a bigger spot, it would be better. But I just phrase it like that. Hey, most businesses go with the 199, just to try to be, just to give them like the, like, oh yeah, that's pretty affordable. That's, and it, I mean, it's already affordable, but so that they really feel that. And then he sends me back, which I believe was a an AI coupon style, right? And he's like, can we do something like this? And then I said, hey, that looks good. Can you give me a transparent logo? And and I sent him the Venmo link as well. And I said, hey, as soon as I have everything, I will send you a proof so that you can look at it and approve it. And I also said, hey, by the way, do you happen to know any other business owners that could possibly be interested in joining this card? I'll give you a $50. I'll take $50 off for any referral that signs up. So then he's just like, oh snap! He's just like, give me a bit. Let me see if I can let me see if I can find somebody. And then he asked me, what businesses do you already have? So I told him that. So now it's just about a waiting game to see if he can find somebody. And I did that the last time as well. And the guy he took time to try to find me some people, and he found three people. But out of those three people, one person signed up, which was still pretty good, right? Because it was just like, okay, that was one more person that I had, or that I got. So that's what I got going on tonight. There is a networking event. It's like a speed networking, and let's see, about a year ago, so May of 2025 is when I started, and I went to my very first networking event. And in that networking event, I had no business card, no postcard, no. I just had the business name that I had thought of, no LLC. I had nothing. I just went in there with basically an idea, if you will, right? We know it's not an idea because it's already been proven. This is something that's been done for years, but I went in there, and I felt small at the time, because it's just like, man, I don't have anything. But anyhow, so now here we come for full circle. I have multiple postcards. I have business cards, um, and and I have that social proof. I have videos. So I'm coming into this particular networking event much more prepared, if you will, than the very first time. So it's pretty cool because it's going to be in the same venue and everything. In addition to that, I am also a VIP member to that group, and because I'm a VIP member, they had this thing that was called, hey, table leader, which is just, I mean, there's really nothing to it. It just means, hey, you get to sit at the table, be told that you're, and announce that you're a VIP member, and then uh, when as people are rotating, I don't have to move tables, and I get to meet double the people versus me having to go from table to table. So that's pretty cool. So that's going to be tonight that I'm going to be going. And I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to tell, as I'm meeting people there, I'm going to tell them, hey, and then for the people that are here tonight, I'm taking, I've been kind of trying to figure out if I should say I'm taking $50 off or $75 off, just to get this card filled quicker, because I just want these cards to get filled up pretty quick, because I want to make sure that I stay consistent in them being coming out every single month. So, and then I do have a very, very low budget ad running right now. Well, I have multiple very, very low budget ads running. The majority of my ads are just like awareness and just staying in front of people, so that when the time is right for them, that they'll be like, hey, I trust this guy, I keep seeing him, let me reach out to him. And then I have an ad that's basically give me your money ad, right? And I had somebody that reached out sometime last night. I reached out, and I reached out. They haven't gotten back to me yet, so we shall see. And I want to say it was maybe a tree service, maybe. I don't remember. I looked at their profile to see, hey, what kind of business do they have. But that's what I got going on. And I did my taxes, got my taxes taken care of, obviously, because I'm new. And the amount of effort and things that I've been doing to get my name out there, I was operating at a loss, and I'm probably still operating at a loss. But at this time, it is what it is. It sucks really bad, but I'm building that momentum, and I just hope that it just continues to build to where eventually I'm in the black, as they say. But anyhow, make sure that you join the community, hit that subscribe, hit that notification bell, and let me know down below, where are you at? Are you on the fence of joining of trying to do this business? Just go ahead and drop whatever question, comment that you have down below, and I'll get back to you. But I look forward to seeing each one of you guys that have watched all the way to this point to join that community. And I also have quite a few other videos if you haven't watched them, or maybe you've watched some of them. But okay, just finished with the networking event, and I was here almost a year ago, as I mentioned, and it was raining that night, and it's raining again. But it was pretty cool. Made some great connections. I have some print possibilities. So I met with a guy that he has all these businesses, and he's just like, yeah, he's like, I definitely want to connect with you and get use some of the print stuff. And I think he's also wanting to possibly do some postcards for one of his businesses. And then then what else was there? There was quite a few. There was a guy that has a cleaning business for the last like 10 years, and is adding carpet cleaning, and he was talking about he's going to be switching over to carpet cleaning as his main business. He's still going to obviously have his cleaning business because he has employees there. So I was talking to him about that, and I'm pretty well versed in the carpet cleaning. So when I was talking to him, he's just like, oh, it sounds like you know about carpet cleaning. I was just like, oh yeah, man. I was just like, I definitely know that industry. I told him, I was just like, I have a carpet cleaning machine. I was like, I kind of gave him a little bit of my story as far as like how I know about carpet cleaning. So he was excited. He's just like, yeah, we want to keep talking about carpet cleaning. So I'm going to meet up with him. He just got his equipment. So I know he's excited. So I'm going to connect with him. And then I know there was other people that wanted stuff. So then there was what did she do? There was another lady, and she's just like, yeah, she's like, I'm always needing print stuff. She's like, can you do trifolds? I was like, yep. And then she's like, well, how much are the business cards? So I told her. She's like, oh yeah. She's like, yeah. She's like, I'm definitely gonna want some business cards. And so she's like, so send me information on the trifolds. So then we got that, and then a roofing company. Talked to them, and talked to them about the door hangers and stuff like that as well. So it wasn't just about the postcard. So I got some pretty good people interested in the print side of things. So that was pretty good. But I know there was other people that were pretty good, but I can't remember. But anyhow, I just wanted to jump on here real quick and just let you guys know that give you a little quick update. I know as I was doing the video earlier, because this is hours later, I mentioned that I was going to be coming over here. But anyhow, make sure that you subscribe, hit that notification bell, and join the free community. Would love to have you, and go ahead and watch one of these videos.